You know, when you think that song, when you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. It's actually, people are putting their focus on a star to manifest something outside of themselves as being able to give that person what they desire, as if you don't have that power yourself already within yourself, operating as divine magic. And you know, so many of these children's movies and all this about all these magics are just really on these an artist's rendering of you know, different kinds of show business kind of things, but and then trying to make those things happen maybe in the material realm, where it's a perverted shadow reflection of the natural spiritual, where everything already is operating not by force but harmoniously in acknowledging both individuality and unity. Now, these are just words, but to give us some way to allow those words to challenge us or help us go beyond the limitations of the conceptions and ideas that we are holding as true because we've been taught this. And then people get limited to one thing. Well, I'm not going to learn anything outside of that because this is it. Wouldn't you want to know everything you could about whatever it is out there, but also to resonate all of that? Or how does that feel in your heart, in your sense of beingness, of really what is true and what is false? And so when we are operating in divine magic, we set our intention and pure thought with the desire for the mutual welfare of all living entities. And people say, well, how is that possible? Well, when we've been programmed with scarcity, that means scarcity, which is called the first principle or law of economics that is being used in the world. Scarcity. And everybody's afraid because they got to have enough money to survive. First of all, you can't die. You're an eternal being, so it's not about surviving. And if you are feeling that threat of not being, it's very good to get really into who you are eternally and be that, and really get into that knowledge. Because all of the temporary is always changing. And because it's changing of consciousness and divine and all of that together. Okay? So yeah, it's divine magic is one where the right people and the right events and the right situations all fall together naturally in some amazing, mystical, beautiful way. Divine magic. And it starts with first really looking at what you do desire in your heart. And you see, when you ask people, what do you want? Usually it's coming from what you've learned, what you've seen in movies, visuals, other people, neighbors, books, magazines, right? All of that sort of thing. And making it always look like the people that are at these other places that are expensive to go to all have smiles on their face, they got a drink, whatever, and they're all really happy. But you know they're not. They're miserable inside, except for these little moments, because that's disconnected. So divine magic is where you tell the truth about what you need and what you desire. And that it helps if you know your purpose and your mission. And I'll tell you your purpose, whether you know it or not, is with everybody, self-realization and actualization. God realization, God actualization, divine, whatever is that topmost, any kind of understanding, appreciation, desire, whatever, of what our source could be. Therefore, that's who and what we are, because we have to be from the source. Because we all have so much in common. We have that, in the same sense, source. Same source. But we're all so different as well. Wow. And to allow that, all people say, well, you can't have everybody doing that because there's not enough. Well, where does that come from? It comes from scarcity. And in that scarcity way, there's no gifting. Everything has to be accounted for. Bookkeeping, and bookkeeping's like a bookie, I guess. You're betting on a race. Come on. So when whatever you desire to be, wherever, it would be your ideal future happening now. What would that be? It would be you being without the slightest taste of distress, with a fullness of the love that you are. Well, when's it going to happen? Everything that we desire is already available to us because it is us. And it doesn't come from the outside. It comes from within. What we can gain on the outside is the knowledge from others left to us of their steps on the path, you might say, that we can use and notice if it works for us or not, and to get what is the one common denominator that we all have. Beyond words. Let's unify there, recognize this, permeate it all. Yes. And now let's choose to acknowledge divine, harmonious magic. For when we actually speak from our heart, and we talk and ask of ourselves, and then we get the feeling of the experience, of the feeling that you think that experience is going to give you. You have that feeling and experience. Now you, in a sense, have that. And we always attract what we have. So therefore, whatever you desire in your heart, that is also for the highest good of all. And there's other steps to that involved, but basically, then you have that feeling of being there now. And with the detachment as well, you let go and let God. And now, whatever there is to do, you do that. But you're not attached. It's like you set it in motion.